Pledge of Allegiance. Are you ready, Diane? You ready?
Yep.
Ready? Good?
Okay. Hold on.
Just this one here. Oh, is it right?
Is it cheese?
Okay, she's
All right,
ready.
ready?
All ready?
Ready?
Try again.
No, she's not.
You give me the okay, Larry.
I'm gonna give you the okay.
We'll keep Wooten in the witness box.
I'm waiting for the okay. We got the okay?
We're almost there.
I'll
No?
swear. I'll tape it with my phone.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, go ahead, right?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know our pastor is not available for an invocation, because we moved the board meetings around. Would anybody like to do an invocation? All right, not seeing anybody, we'll dispense with the invocation. Were you standing, Mr. Cullen, to do an invocation? Okay. All right.
I think I see Jody.
Morning,
I'd
evening.
like to make it a motion that we approve the minutes of July 6th, 2016 meeting, so moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The minutes are approved. I'll just go into applications. Wireless Towers LLC and New York SMSA Limited Partnership, DBA Verizon Wireless, submitted a special permit application referencing alternate location for their project, and that is Suffolk County Tax Map number 67-2-26.3. Dynamic Radiator submitted a special permit application to add a new gravel parking lot, and that's Suffolk County Tax Map number 118-4-8.1. There was correspondence from Joan Zaniski, a letter expressing concerns as to zoning and the term formula stores at Midland Commons on Route 25 in Accaboar.
All right.
That's it,
Is
very
there any
simple
other
today.
town board reports?
No, I just want to say, I think that our first live at 25 went very well. I think we had about 5,000 people on Main Street, and we haven't had any complaints from even the stores that weren't busy. Said that it was fine and they enjoyed it. So I want to thank everybody, especially the bid management, for putting this on first time, and it went smoothly. So thank you very much.
And thank you, Jill Lewis.
Yeah, it was excellent, it really was. You guys did a tremendous job putting that together.
Yeah.
So
Steve Schroeder, that was a lot of work. And,
And just, I just want to remind everybody, since you're talking about the live on 25, that Grangeville Park is hopping every Friday night too, just to let you know. That
What band's on Friday? What band?
the Jim Hill concert series has been really great thanks John, been there the last couple of weeks. This week is the New York Exceptions, which is a 50s doo-wop group. Very good, they hail out of Atlantic City, so they're good, so.
I'll tell you what, everybody should come down and see these on Friday
free.
nights. They start at 7 o'clock. You can park at the Science Center. They gave everybody permission to park there, so you don't have to walk too far. And the Chiclets were there, if everybody remembers the Chiclets. And they had a
Remember the
doo-wop
gums.
this Friday. So, and coming up is gonna be
Yeah, the Exceptions is
the
good.
exception. So come on down to Grangeville Park at 7 o'clock, and it's usually about an hour and a half, and it's over. Just as it gets dark, they end the concert. So come on down. We do have fun.
all right, any other reports?
I just want to congratulate you, Sean, and the chief of police and our district attorney Spoda for the big drug bust that they just had with 14 people that were selling heroin and drugs and getting those people off the street and protecting our children. So thank you, chief.
I didn't have anything to do with it, but thank you anyway.
Well, I'm sure the chief keeps you informed as to what's happening with these drug busts. So good job
Thank you.
to our police enforcement.
Thank you. Anybody else? Not seeing anybody? All right, we're gonna take up resolutions. Anybody wish to be heard on resolutions?
Oh, good.
Not seeing anybody? John?
I'd like to close the town board meeting and open the community development meeting. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The CDA meeting is now open.
CDA resolution number 11, adoption of finding statements finding statement in connection with the final supplemental generic environmental impact statement, FSGEIS, for the comprehensive plan for the development of EPCAL reuse and revitalization plan, including amendment to the Town of Riverhead Comprehensive Master Plan, subdivision of the EPCAL property, creation and adoption of a planned development PD zoning district, amendment to the zoning map of the Town of Riverhead to rezone the EPCAL property to the PD zoning district, and amendment to the Calverton Enterprise Park urban renewal plan.
There's not even a period at the end of that.
No. I'm glad,
Yeah, Marie wrote that.
I'm glad you had to read that. So moved.
John, you may have to read it on the town board.
He moved it.
I moved it. Go ahead.
Coming back up, John Scott.
John,
I saw that one.
moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Obviously, everybody knows that I've always objected to any housing or retail. This final generic environmental impact statement says that we studied it and that residential and retail can exist on the property. I'm voting yes to adopt the final statement, but I still object to the residential and the retail.
Wooten,
Absolutely, yes.
Dunleavy,
Yes, and everybody did a good job on this. Thank you. Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution is therefore duly adopted, and that completes the business of the CDA.
Thank you, Anne Marie Prudenti,
I like,
Jill Lewis, Jeff and Jeff, Frank Eisler, Rob Marsh from the DEC, who helped us out greatly last week and came out. The DEC actually personally, when we couldn't hire an environmental planner in the time frame that we kind of set up, the DEC came out and did the inspection and found no blue loop, whatever, wild indigo, something.
Butterfly bush.
That's right, they found no butterfly bushes.
I was up there the night before with
right.
a blowtorch.
I'd like to make a motion, we close the CDA meeting and reopen the town board meeting. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Town board meeting is now reopened.
All right.
Good, John, read away.
Resolution 536.
This is a Riverhead Sewer
It's
District
coming up.
budget adjustment, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 537.
Riverhead Water District payment of engineering fees for inspections and payment for services of new lease with AT&T at 1035 Pulaski Street. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 538.
Oh, boy.
It's all yours, Tim.
Adoption of finding statement in connection with the final supplemental generic environmental impact statement for the comprehensive plan for the development of EPCAL reuse and revitalization plan, including amendment to the Town of Riverhead Comprehensive Master Plan, subdivision of the EPCAL property, creation and adoption of a planned development PD zoning district, amendment to the zoning map of the Town of Riverhead to rezone the EPCAL property to the PD zoning district, and amendment to the Calverton Enterprise Park urban renewal plan. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes to the finding statement, no to the housing and retail.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 539.
539. Authorize the supervisor to execute a stipulation with the Riverhead Police Benevolent Association. So moved.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 540.
Classifies application as a type 1 action pursuant to SECRA. Request lead agency status, Town of Riverhead, Peconic River, Route 25A Quarter Brownfield Opportunity Area Program, Step 2 nomination. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 541.
Authorizes the town clerk to publish and post a notice for a public hearing for a site plan application known as Peconic Care, submitted by the Engel Berman Group on a certain parcel identified as lot block 17 on the approved subdivision map of Calverton Camelot, located on the southwest side of the eastern runway, plus or minus 3,300 square feet, southeast of Janway, Calverton, New York, described as Suffolk County Tax Map Number District 600, Section 135, Block 1, Lot 7.56. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 542.
Authorization to publish advertisement for chemicals for Town of Riverhead Sewer District. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 543.
Authorization to publish an advertisement for lubricant items for the Town of Riverhead. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 544.
Authorize the supervisor to execute agreement with the Riverhead Youth Sports Incorporated for referee umpire services for the Town of Riverhead Police Athletic League football program for the 2016 calendar year. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 545.
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement with Cummins Power Systems LLC regarding generator maintenance service for the Riverhead Water District. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 546.
Classifies applications as an unlisted action without coordinated review, assumes lead agency and authorizes the town clerk to publish and post notice for a public hearing for a special permit application known as Preston House on a certain parcel located at 428 East Main Street, identified as Suffolk County Tax Number 600-129-3-13, Riverhead, New York. So moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 547.
I'd like to ask the board to table this until I can personally speak to Scott DeSimone in light of what I just saw. I don't know if there's any, buddy
With
that would be
that
willing
letter,
to table this.
That's
Okay,
fine
what?
with me.
Okay, all right, let's table, make a
Okay.
motion to table. I'll make the motion.
Can we table the other one also then, seeing as
One
this is
has
pending?
nothing to do with the other, but you could make that motion.
Well, that letter he wrote us, the email doesn't refer to this.
No, but I want, something's
Okay.
something's amiss.
Okay, I make a motion that we table resolution 547. So moved.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded as to table.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution 547 is tabled. Resolution 548.
Hold on a second. Jill, can you see if you can set up a lunch with him and I or something? Thanks. All right, sorry, go ahead.
Resolution 548.
548 sets hourly rate schedule for the law firm of Smith, Finkelstein, Lumberg, Eisler, and Yakubaski LLP. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
I think they do an excellent job for the town. Just not ready to give away more money than we actually have to, so I'm gonna vote no.
Giglio.
I agree, they do a great job for the town, but I think that the rate that we're giving to our outside counsel, which is $175 an hour, is enough. I think if it was a specialized service, where if they were going to the appellate division up in Brooklyn on the highest court level, and they asked to be paid more because more research is done and expertise is needed, then I would raise the rate for a specific item that requires an area of specialty. I think that this is opening the door for a lot of other attorneys that we deal with in the outside sector to come in and ask for more money, so I'm voting no.
Wooten,
This has been bantered back and forth for quite a few weeks, and it was really sparked by a particular attorney who wanted more money per hour. We felt that with all the workload that Smith does, it wouldn't be fair to him to go ahead and give other counsel a rate increase. That notwithstanding, we all sort of agreed that the 175 for the last 7 years was probably
Paralegals get billed out
was
$150
probably
an hour.
beneath the bar, so it was really based on volume. So I'm kind of in a jam, but you know what, I think $200 an hour for what I know that Frank and his group has done for the town and continue to do for the town, really doing the heavy lifting sometimes when we can't do it locally. I don't think it's outrageous at all, so so I support it, yes.
Dunleavy.
All right, well, this was a compromise. And the first one we just tabled.
I'm gonna
And
sit
now-
down and talk to Scott, though.
And now we're going to, give one law firm a raise, without giving our other outside attorneys a raise. And we don't know what we're gonna do with the first one, because the first one was a special one that it's hard to get attorneys for. So I just don't wanna go out and give one law firm a raise without the rest of them, or without, compromising with Resolution 547.
John, I just wanna sit down and
I just-
meet with Scott DeSimone. This has nothing to do with this. I wanna talk to him.
Well,
Something's
it
going
did
on.
in our discussions, it did. It did in our discussions that we had.
Well, there's also the difference that the one attorney requested a raise, the other attorneys did not.
Right.
So I'm not looking to, we've got CSE employees without contracts, I can't willingly give money out that we
So
shouldn't be
you
giving
know,
out.
I, you know, to keep a special attorney, I would've went along with, but just to give an attorney a firm, something without, so I'm gonna vote no.
Walter.
Yes.
The resolution is not adopted. Resolution 549.
Appoint special counsel to represent zoning board of appeals relative to specific pending litigation. So moved.
Seconded,
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, this is the one we tabled, yes.
Dunleavy.
No, it's not.
Well, it's
No,
because
it's
of what
not.
we tabled.
This is because of a conflict.
Right.
Just the letter he
He's not,
wrote,
he's getting
right?
paid at the lower
Yes.
rate, because the other one
Right.
was voted down.
I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 550.
Approves extension to license agreement with United Fence and Guardrail Corporation, so moved.
And seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 551.
Authorize town clerk to post a published public notice for public hearing regarding a local law to amend chapter 221, community preservation open space of the Riverhead Town Code to extend the effective date of the Community Preservation Fund real estate transfer tax imposed pursuant to Article 31D of the New York State tax law until December 31st, 2050, and to authorize the use of a portion of the town community preservation fund not to exceed 20% for water quality improvement projects subject to mandatory referendum. So move.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Sorry,
He said yes.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
I didn't know you didn't
Oh.
hear me, Hubbard.
Yes.
Okay. Giglio.
I support the extension of the debt because it will help the town out as far as our payments go and bring the payments down to a sustainable level that we can afford. And eventually we will have money in the pot someday to go out and buy more open space or farmland, which is what this legislation set out to do. I applaud the supervisor and Fred Thiel, Assemblyman Thiel, and Senator Laval for moving this forward to extend the debt for relief for the taxpayers of the town, so that we don't have to raise taxes just to pay down the debt. I object to the 20% for water quality improvement projects. As liaison to the Peconic Estuary Program, I feel that it's very important to do water improvement projects, water quality improvement projects. But in sitting with the Peconic Estuary Program and seeing the federal government cutting back their budget year after year, and looking at the federal government, the EPA putting down mandates to the state, and the state putting down mandates to the town, and the town having to fulfill these projects, such as the sewage treatment plant upgrade and other projects that may come down the pike at a later date, I think that this fund should remain just for the acquisition of open space and farmland. And although I've been speaking in depth to our deputy town attorney about this, who is very instrumental in the legislation also, you know, there's a project plan for water quality improvement projects. It says that 10% of this money could be used for stewardship of farmland, 20% could be used for sewage treatment upgrade systems and septic systems and things of that nature. And I just see it as another unfunded mandate down the road that's gonna get pushed down to the town level from the federal, the state, and the county. And we're gonna end up using our preservation fund for water quality projects rather than for preservation of farmland and open space. So based on that clause in here that says that 20% can be spent on water quality projects, I'm gonna vote no on this legislation. I agree in extending the debt. I don't agree in using this fund for water quality projects. I think that the money should come from the federal government and from the state and not go into the town funds for these projects. So I'm voting no.
Wooten,
I am so far on the other side of the pendulum when it comes to that last speech. I can't think of anything better that we as a society can do to protect our waterways and our groundwater, especially sitting here on the delta of the Peconic River.
That's right.
I mean, my God, I can't imagine, we have to be stewards, at least of the waterways and the estuary. And yeah, there are unfunded mandates, with the closing of the landfills, but New York State Sea Grant pays for our pump out boats so that we can keep that clean, so there's no longer a discharge area. All the stormwater runoff, all these mandates that come down, but you know what? They're all for good causes, they're all for the future. And, you know, Tim can tell you what the Peconic River looked like 40 years ago compared to what it looks like today. It's working, it's rising, but that's a whole different issue. It's only 20% and it says may be used. So I would hope that the town board, or whoever has control over the CPF funds in the future, won't do what we did before in our zealousness and bond millions and millions and millions of dollars, hoping that that would be sustainable. So this is more of a try to get back on track as far as being a sustainable fund, and I think using it for water quality is a great avenue. So I vote yes.
Dunleavy,
I guess I agree with everything that Councilman Wooten said. Yes, eventually it's gonna be an unfunded mandate, the whole thing, but then we would have to take it out of the general fund and not this preservation fund, to do it. Like he says, we got the Peconic Bay on one side of us, we got the Sound on the other side of us. If we don't protect ourselves and these waterways, something's gonna happen, and I know what it's gonna be. You have to filter the rainwater from the roadways before it goes in. Eventually, we did it in the parking lot, we put filters in. It's great. It's an East End. If I lived in Islip in the middle of the world, maybe I wouldn't vote for this, right? But we don't, we have, like Councilman Wooten says, we have water on either side of us, so, and I wanna keep it clean, so I vote yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 552,
Authorize the sale of an obsolete surplus town of Riverhead Highway Department personal property, sorry. To it, a dresser 175C track loader. So,
Second.
Can we just have a discussion? How did we pick Michael Majewski to get this?
Because we,
Did it?
they put it out there to, several individuals and entities, and this was the highest that they received.
And this is.
Michael Muse.
Yeah, and I
Michael Muse.
News.
yeah, and I compared it to going online,
Okay.
and I made sure that they're keeping track of
Okay.
what they received.
No pun intended. Track loader keeping track. All right, moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted.
Likewise.
Resolution 553,
Ratifies the adoption of an amendment to the alcohol policy for the town of Riverhead. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 554,
Authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement with VHB Engineering, Surveying and Landscape Architecture, PC. So moved.
Dan, second.
Moved and seconded. Vote, please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Does this have an amount to exceed to? I don't remember seeing this one.
Yes, remember we discussed it at work session,
Yeah,
and,
we did.
I explained or highlighted certain key provisions.
Top of page
Right,
three, Jerry.
no, I know, it was the rate for the engineer and the rate for
Yeah,
supporting staff.
Yeah, and if I could,
2,500?
I highlighted for you the areas that you wanted to see and that you were concerned about. Here's the first,
So it's $2,500 per applicant,
per prospective client,
prospective buyer.
Purchaser.
right.
Okay. And you're overseeing that, right, Anne Marie, so that
Correct.
they're not
Yeah.
abusing the time?
And it's written in the agreement.
Thank you. Yes,
Wooten,
Yes.
John Levy,
I wanna vote yes because, we're trying to sell property and all the prospective buyers, call this company and ask them questions and take up their time. Someone has to pay for it, they don't, you can't do it for free. So all we do is reimbursing them for their time, they could put in with clients that wanna buy property. So I vote yes.
Walter,
Yes.
resolution adopted. Resolution 555,
Authorizes notice of public hearing regarding rate structure of the Riverhead Water District, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
yes,
Wooten,
Yes.
John Levy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 556,
Motion to pay the bills.
second,
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten,
Yes.
John Levy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
There's three resolutions, did we fix this skate park resolution?
No, needs to be amended up,
Which one needs to be amended?
the 88,000,
So what's the amendment?
10,000.
To 88,000, resolution 558 will be amended to 10,000? Okay,
Transfer 10,000 out, there was an email, Jody, I had a chance to show you.
okay.
So it's no longer 88, it's 10.
Why the big
So-
change? How'd we come up?
$4,000 change, and then Bill said, we should have, Bill's here, right? That
Yeah,
we have some money in the account.
Because
Okay.
they were canceling they were canceling the project at EPCAL. That's what this was
Correct.
doing.
Right.
But we're not we don't wanna cancel that project at EPCAL.
No, we don't.
So now we're leaving the money in there,
All but 10,000.
all but 10,000. So the project at EPCAL can still go forward.
4,000, so Bill just said it's 6.
So 6,000 is a buffer. So with the EPCAL project goes forward and the skate park goes forward.
So this is just 10,000.
Does that sound?
I thought we were doing the 27,000
That's correct.
for the
That's-
state
that's
park,
what Ray talked
to
about.
finish it and get it open.
Yes, that's right.
That is,
Right?
but we have to.
And we're also increasing this,
They were short.
They were short, but Rec wanted to cancel the one project and just move the money out, but we're not doing that, correct?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to deplete the funds, so there's 88,000 currently transferred for the playground right now. So basically, we needed 27 for the skate park, we only had 24 after the transfer. So I didn't want to deplete the whole account, that's why I said, well, I'll put it in your guys' hands. I was gonna just move the 88,000 back into the general parks fund, but the amendment is actually better. So moving 10,000 over, this way we keep the project going, and when money comes back, then we can complete it.
So we're changing 88 just to 10?
Yes.
You're just taking 10 to supplement what you're short, okay, I get it.
I'll change the wording so we're not rescinding the whole resolution, we're just gonna reduce the budget authority by $10,000.
Right.
And then we'll have 10,000, then we'll have $4,000 to fund the project in the next resolution, and then we'll still have 6,000 in case there's some emergency.
I get it.
So it's not gonna be rescinding, it's gonna be amending resolution.
Correct. 558,
Correct.
10,000, 10,000. Okay.
Okay, what was the question, Tony?
Should I might have done.
No, I don't think it
No,
matters.
it
Doesn't matter? Okay.
All right, so we have three resolutions to come off the floor. I'm gonna make the motion that we take off the floor resolution 557, a 2016, skate park project at Stotsky Park budget adoption. Resolution 558, amending the 2016 EPCAL playground budget adoption, and that'll be as amended to 10,000, not 88,000. And resolution 559, which amends resolution 508 of 2016, reappointing part-time crossing guard. We had the wrong name.
I second it.
Okay, moved and seconded, that's taken off the floor. Can we vote to take all three off the floor?
Hubbard,
Yes.
Giglio,
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolutions 557, 558, and 559 are taken off the floor. And I'll call resolution 557.
2016 skate park project at Stotsky Park, budget adoption. So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard,
Can I get a solid explanation as to why we got an estimate for $55,000 to have work done at that skate park, which I voted for, not willingly, because I did it, but I'm not happy about it. Because the skate park is used mostly by out-of-towners. It doesn't generate enough money for us to say it's a moneymaker for us. And we go from 55,000 now to another 27,000 because more work needed to be done. And that's just a Band-Aid approach, and yet to complete it, we need another 70,000. I don't understand how that happens. Can somebody explain that to me?
Ray, can you explain that? I saw an email, and the email talked about that there was,
No, you guys weren't at the work session last week, so let me.
right,
Yeah,
guy.
I mean, this is more of an engineering question because they take care of that part with World Construction. But what they told me was they initially looked at all the boards that were in bad shape, horrible shape. That's what we brought them in for. And as they were working,
World Construction did
World
this,
Construction, correct.
and that's
As
the
they
people
were-
we ended up hiring.
Yes.
And they
that-
started to work, and now they start to work, and they say, no, not 55,000. We really need 120,000
Yeah,
to
they
do the job
discovered
right.
additional boards.
That doesn't fly with me.
I don't disagree with you. I agree. I mean,
That doesn't fly, not for this park that is served to outside people, the majority of them. And
Lose
when
money
we're
with the park.
taking money from other, I vote no.
Okay. Did we move that resolution?
No,
I thought she did.
no, I thought we did too.
Yeah, she came to me for the vote.
He did.
Yeah.
Okay,
took 'em
go
off the
ahead.
floor.
Yes.
To take them off
No,
the
no, we
floor.
moved it, she moved it.
Now you moved
But,
it?
no,
moved it?
yeah,
It was moved,
Okay.
it
it
went
was
to the
moved,
vote.
yes.
Continue the
Giglio.
vote, please.
Seeing as they've already started the work, and they've already completed most of the work from what our recreation superintendent is telling us, that they've started the work, and they expect to be done within the next week or two. I also was given that information from the deputy supervisor. I don't see how we cannot pay it at this point. So, we have bills to pay, whether we agree with the bills or not. It was decided that we were going to move forward and fix the skate park a long time ago. That's what we set out to do. The fact that this company came after all the boards were off and everything was dismantled and couldn't be used, they came back and said they needed more money to complete it. I don't agree with it either. I don't know if we can hold them accountable for this money and just say, because their bid to us wasn't thorough and it didn't include all of the items. Ray, do we have any, or Amory, do we have any, I mean, I think that we
I've
should
got an
hold
email
off on this
to-
resolution until we look into that,
I've been
into the
emailing to
legality of it.
engineering to talk to World and get an exact explanation in writing to
Yeah.
exactly what went wrong and what they saw. Now, they discovered additional boards. Why they didn't discover it when they first did it, I don't know.
Not to mention, this was gonna be completed by Memorial Day, then it was gonna be completed by July 4th, and now here we are almost at the end of July, and now we get hit with.
Yeah,
No,
they
I'm
originally
not-
told us 1 week to
We
complete
need to
it.
look into this more, I'm sorry.
All right, wait a minute. Didn't you guys discuss this last week?
We
Yes, we
did.
did, and I was the only one that wanted to vote against this, everybody else
All right, let's
said, let's
continue,
go.
let's continue with the vote.
And now
then.
we're having all this discussion.
Okay.
I don't really know why.
Okay, we're not in the discussion phase, we're in the voting phase. Continue the vote, Joanne, Diane.
I think we're up to Jody.
Yep, I'm going to abstain until we can get legal advice as to whether or not there's any repercussion or whether or not we can get any money back from, the person that bid the job and underbid it and then came in with a change order, so I'll abstain.
Abstain. Wooten.
Well, I can tell you, we had an estimate for the church, about 120,000. That was 340,000 when it was done. You never know what you're gonna get when you open it up, especially with something that, that hasn't been really maintained that well, because we're trying to do so much with the money that we get through rec department, and there's so many different desires and visions for all the things that, we're trying to do a lot with the money that we got from recreation, do a lot of things for a lot of people in a lot of areas. I think Stotsky Park is the central park for Riverhead Township, I really do. I think the majority of the people that live in this town go there and use that park. I realize that the skate park is mostly out-of-towners, as they say, but You know, there are, local kids that go there, and I think we even waived fees for local children to go there and use it. I just think, I don't wanna see anything in the central part of Riverhead just go to waste. And I realize that unforeseen rot or decay, it can be exposed. Trust me, I know that. Anybody who owns an old house knows that. You never know. You put a budget together, put a kitchen in, you better put 20% contingency, because you never know what you're gonna get when you open it. So, this is just trying, and it is a Band-Aid approach, but it's something, at least we'll get that open and have some use in it. We do wanna get something up at EPCAL as well, but you know what, we do the best we can. So I think this is, it has to be done. It just has to be done for the people who live here, so I vote yes.
Dunleavy.
Okay. This is the one thing I always spoke about. We don't maintain the stuff that we have in the town of Riverhead. And when something goes wrong, we have to fix something, then it mushrooms. Because once you remove something, you find something else that has to be done, and that has to be repaired. At our work session, I was the only one that wanted to vote no for this. They convinced me that to put this Band-Aid on,
Twist your
and
arm.
we'll get going with this, and we'll open the park up in 2 weeks. I don't want laying there with the kids going over the fences, and someone may get hurt. So I vote yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted. Resolution 558.
558, amends resolution 508 of 2016, reappointing part-time crossing guard. So moved.
No,
No,
this
no.
one's mine.
What, 559 that was?
Rescinding 2016
Oh, that's
EPCAL
them.
playground budget adoption.
Okay.
Amends.
It's
This has been amended from 88,000 to 10,000.
And it's gonna
And
be
can I
entitled,
make the title, amending resolution 253, adopted on April 19th, 2016 for EPCAL playground?
We said 8,000 left in it.
yes.
The second,
This is actually putting money back into the park and rec fund, 10,000 back into the park and rec
no,
fund.
this is wrong.
They're taking,
He
it's
said
taking
this
10,000.
is 78.
My gosh.
78,000.
They were canceling the project, so when you take the money out of playground
Okay.
equipment, you
Got
cancel
it.
the project.
Okay. Got it.
Now the project will continue.
Okay.
Vote
Yeah, but how much money is gonna be in this account?
6,000 when you're done.
Yeah.
We knew that. We knew that when we made the decision months ago, that there would be really nothing left in that
They're
account.
not gonna do it.
They're gonna do.
They're gonna do it. They have to stay within the budget. That's a bid contract item anyway.
It's more than.
Okay, so,
Tight, man. It's tight.
can we move the resolution?
Yes. Hubbard.
No,
No, we
Giglio.
didn't, we gotta move and second it. Oh,
I
Yeah,
read,
We did.
okay, move and second, vote please.
you guys are slacking up here
Okay.
today.
Okay, you're a
No.
no. Jody?
The rec committee really wants this playground equipment at the Enterprise Park at Calverton, and it was a recommendation from our rec committee to build the park there, which is why I think the town board initially set out to put a park there. I think that we need to capitalize on our larger parks and invest money in them, and not so much with the, pocket parks and other areas throughout the town, that it's hard for buildings and grounds to get to maintain. And I just think that we need to build up Enterprise Park at Calverton and the Veterans Memorial Park, and I will vote yes.
Wooten?
I don't know how they can do it. I'm totally confused. I'm totally confused. He
All
said-
this is taking the money they had set aside to build the EPCAL ballpark, and they're borrowing 10,000 from that fund in order to complete the
No.
repair of
See
the
that?
skate park.
I noticed, but here, how much, are we gonna have 78 or 6,000
We're
here?
gonna have 6,000, because once
How
you
can you do a
spend.
park for 6,000?
No,
That's not-
the 88,000 is going to stay in parks and playground equipment. And what he was doing was taking the money out of parks and playground and putting it back into the special trust fund so that he couldn't spend it. So he's moving it out of the checking account and putting it into the savings account. We wanna leave it in the checking account. And so all we're doing now is moving $10,000 from playground equipment to the, we're doing it in reverse, but I understand why you're confused, but,
Right, that's it, see, huh?
but it works. These resolutions work.
Well, I think the resolution should be amended,
The
So my vote,
to do the right thing.
to get back to my vote, I think that it's we're trying to do a lot with what we got here, and I really think that since we put the dog park up at EPCAL, we got the bocce ball court up there, it really is a center for a lot of people to go and escape 58. So, I don't think we should just nix it because we have to borrow a little bit out of it, so I vote yes.
Dunleavy.
I'm abstaining because it's.
Because even I can't explain it to them.
This is confusing, we didn't talk about this at the work session, and nobody wants to talk about it here, and I'm not voting for anything that I don't understand. I abstain.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, that concludes
No, it
the.
doesn't.
No, one more.
Oh, one more, that's right.
559, the one I started reading before.
That's right.
Amends Resolution 508 of 2016, reappointment part-time crossing guard. So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, vote please.
Hubbard.
Yes.
Giglio.
Yes.
Wooten.
Yes, sorry, I got his name wrong.
Dunleavy.
Yes.
Walter.
Yes.
Resolution adopted.
All right, that concludes the official business of the town board. Does anybody wishes to be heard? We ask you to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Yes.
Okay,
Hi, Laura Jen Smith from Laurel. I just have a question. I should have asked this before, but for Resolution 551, where you have for the public notice for the hearing regarding the local law to amend Chapter 222, as a referendum, is it that one referendum, or will they be two separate referendums? One that would be to extend the Community Preservation Fund until December of 2050, and then a separate referendum to do the 20% into the water?
Emery?
In the proposed local law, it's one referendum. It's worded as one referendum. The actual local law is drafted with the language that would be placed on the ballot.
But I think as Jody pointed.
Hold on, this is the same for all 5 towns in the East End.
Correct.
All 5 towns are doing the same,
That-
modeling it after,
But they're combined together, or they're two separate referendums?
they're all the same. Everyone's adopting the same thing, so that when they do the publicity for because there's some environmental groups that are going to move forward with publicity, everybody's gonna be asked the same question.
But they all have money in their accounts,
Correct.
and we don't.
Correct. So
And
it's a very different.
They want
It's a
to
very
upgrade
different.
sanitary systems and things of that nature,
It's a
which
moot-
we
It's a
do
very
too.
different
It's a moot point.
It's a
It's
very
You don't spend it.
different situation in our town,
It
and
is,
it
but-
really takes away the public's ability to vote on two things, because in the other town where their CPF fund is flush, it's very different than what we're facing in the town of Riverhead, and we are unique in that, and as such, you can still have the same referendum number the other towns have for the 20%. But I think it is a very unique vote in Riverhead, and I think that you should consider that by separating out the referendum so that people can make a choice on each one individually. And I hope that you would consider to amend what you just adopted.
Thank you.
And I just want to note that Town Law 64E, even if this was approved as drafted, Town Law 64E still requires a public hearing each and every time the town seeks to spend community preservation funds, including for water quality improvement projects. And, as Councilwoman Diglio even noted, the fact that the town would approve the proposed amendment to include water quality improvement doesn't require them in any way to actually spend the money on water quality improvement.
No, I understand that, but when these went through the legislation, these were separate legislative actions taken.
No, they were not.
This was all one
No,
legislative
they
action.
were not.
isn't it?
It was one law.
One bill.
One
I
bill.
have the
One
bill,
bill.
but it doesn't even require that the township put aside 20% for water quality.
But we have the
or
option
for-
to if we choose.
Exactly.
Yes.
It doesn't require you to do that,
Guys,
so
if
we
we
could have
had
adopted
voted
it
on-
to extend it and not included the 20%.
You don't have
Okay,
any-
let's have we'll have the public comment period for the hearing, and I'll leave it open, and we can have that discussion then.
Okay, and then
It's
one
for
other
public
thing
hearing.
that I just wanted to mention, I did go to the Alive at 25, it was great, and when you change the alcohol and the law here so that you have it petitioned off, if you're going to serve alcohol, I think it really made the event really a much more family-friendly event for all concerned, where you had those that were drinking, were in a partitioned area, and then there was free flow of families and people throughout the town. So I think that worked out really well. So
Thank you.
it's a nice job.
All right, does anybody else wish to be heard? How you doing, sir?
Robert Skinner. I'm 14 Eileen Circle in Jamesport. We spoke about helicopter noise a few meetings ago, and you put everything out on the website, and then we had the task force meeting with Mr. Hubbard. During those comments that were made, it seemed like it was very daunting, and the people of Riverhead were not being heard at the upper levels of these, what do you want to call them, boards? Or,
Senator Schumer,
Right.
Senator Gillibrand.
I just wanted you to know that I put forth a detailed timeline frame to Senator Schumer's office with GPS plot points,
Oh, good.
compass course, etc., and I actually did get a response. So,
What was his response?
well, it was from one of his minions, but the response basically was, we hear you, we understand, we want you to take that and submit it to the feds, to the FAA, all right? And so it appears as though at least
Right there. You just said it. It appears like they're doing something.
appears that there may be something on their radar screen with this, as opposed to just, it was like, it almost seemed totally hopeless. So at least it now looks like there might be a flicker of light there.
Mr. Skinner, it has appeared that they were going to do something for the past 6 years, and they've done this.
Yes.
Congressman Zeldin did more in 6 months than the two of them did in 6 years. And the reality is we had very little problem, or our problems were alleviated greatly when they started to fly that North Fork route, because it really only, the Wading River, Calverton complaints went way down, and even the complaints in Jamesport, Northville went down, but what I was afraid of, when East Hampton closed their airport, there's certain types of helicopters and certain times, but the curfew's in place. Helicopter pilots are thumbing their nose at everybody because it is a non-mandatory route. So the operative word is appears that they're doing something.
Right.
They need to actually do something. And Councilman Hubbard and I
Just
talked.
the fact that you got a response is good, though, because we have not gotten any responses in the past. So the fact that at least it's on their radar and it's stirring some interest in their camp, that's a good thing. So I was glad to hear that you did get something back. It is a mandatory route to fly out around Plum Island. They give them 2 outs in that mandatory out, one being weather, one being able to transcend to their
It is
landing
mandatory
spot.
around Plum
It's a
Island.
mandatory route around Plum Island. They thumb their nose up at that, and they say, oh, we're gonna transcend to East Hampton. There's the Northville tanks, let's go that way, that's the quickest route. So that's what they do. They were given that out by the FAA. That's what needs to be addressed, along with an all South Shore route.
Right.
And
I didn't realize it was mandatory.
Yeah, it was mandatory.
And in giving them the GPS plot point, I think caught their attention. In giving them the fact that I also have experience with my parents living on the west side of Mattatuck Inlet. So having had experienced that whole fiasco, was that 6-7 years ago, and seeing that traffic diminished and now pushed to Riverhead Town, I was surprised at the level of what was apparently listening that I got, and asking questions regarding those 2 factors. So I just thank you for
I'd love
putting
to
it
see
on
the
the
letter. I'd
on
love
the
to see the
website.
letter that they sent back to, if you could send it to me.
It was a phone conversation, and that was more surprising to me than anything else. Now, to the fact that they called me on my cell phone and wanted additional information because of the fact that that route is supposed to be like one way on a Monday or whatever it was.
Right.
And it was two-way with 11 assorted aircraft directly over that GPS plot point in the middle of Jamesport in a half-hour time frame at between 8:45 and 9:15 in the morning. And I don't, my wife and I just had it at that point.
Yeah,
And then the fact that you go to Iron Pier at 9:30, walk east, and see two aircraft in that 30-minute span that you walk from Iron Pier to Levon just tells you it is not
paying
working.
attention.
So when you read Senator Schumer's comments in Newsday that he supports the route, what he is supporting is what happens over my house at those GPS plot points on a regular basis.
Correct.
And I somehow think that was like, oh, well, wait a minute, we haven't gotten this kind of complaint yet. So for whatever that's worth, thank you for posting the information. Thank you for, taking a better look at this. Maybe the people in Jamesport are going to actually get something out of this, hopefully.
I hope so.
Maybe.
The whole town?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Skinner.
Mr.
Keep
Skinner.
us posted. All right, does anybody else wish to be heard? I'm not seeing anybody. Can I get a motion
I
to
make a
adjourn?
motion we adjourn the town board meeting, so moved.
Seconded, all in favor? Aye, opposed, abstentions, motion